I'm coming up. Where is this guy?
Yo, what the fuck?
Yo, behind.
Behind you. You're running it. Oh, fuck! Yo, they're everywhere. They're left and right.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah,
Whoa, that guy.
they call me the freak of the fall. Fuck a little bitch, I've come to take it all. I'ma go screw the you go call. Bossing with a scarecrow in the field, no.
Oh god, I'm in.
Lucifer reborn as a god. Fish on the blood dripping down my jaw. Step out of my line and get outlined in chalk. Prince of the dark and the dead will walk.
I can feel my enemy begin to feel my drum. I am ready when it comes to pain. I'm numb. I can tell you things you won't believe I've done. I kill to feel alive. I feel my enemy begin to feel my drum. I am ready when it comes to pain. I'm numb. I can tell you things you won't.
Hey guys and welcome, my name is Lucky and I hope you enjoyed that last little montage that showed some of my best clips of my second and third day playing this game. From the title of the video, you've probably already deduced the contents, that being my personal impressions and opinions of Apex Legends. It's important to note upon starting this video, I have 21 hours and I've been playing for about 4 days and have an average KDR of 1.2.5. Before I get into anything, I think it's important to note that I did play this game in Season 1 when it just released, but that was only a few games as it didn't really hook me in at the time. Beyond that, I feel it's important to know that I've been playing games my whole life and am extremely experienced in the FPS genre. However, not as experienced as my Asian counterpart Caleb, aka the guy who was constantly surprised in that last montage. So he and I already have an edge many new players won't have in this game. With all this said, the video can finally begin and I can say that I wholeheartedly am in love with this game. The fast pace, the gunplay, the movement, the personality, all of it just coalesces into one another beautifully. There are some things I would like to see changed, but as of right now, I can't really find anything in this game that I genuinely hate, and that's a really good sign to me. Once I start playing this game, I find myself having to pull myself away from it, or else I'm going to spend all day fucking grinding. Now quickly, before I jump into why I believe this game is so fun and addicting, there are just a few things I wanted to talk about for other people considering trying out the game. 1. If you have a potato computer, for the love of God, do not play this game. You will most likely hate it, and it could squash your whole opinion of this game. Caleb, the first time he played this game, he had everything on like the bottom of the bottom settings, and he told me he could not see anything. He had to upgrade it, and this is a guy who plays every game on the bottom settings, even though he has a good computer. Secondly, to people who are very new to the FPS genre, this game might be extremely daunting. Not because it is extremely requiring, but mostly because of the fact that it's really fast-paced, and I think the confusion of it all could lead to a really frustrating time. Third, this game is not really stressful at all, at least in my experience, but does demand you to concentrate on it. So if you are one of those people who likes to play games while watching Netflix and just relax, this might not be the game for you. You can relax, but you have to keep a certain guard up. You have to always be ready for what's about to come. Lastly, the RNG in this game is fucking fantastic, and thank God for it. I barely ever feel screwed over by the game, and I never feel like I undeservingly lost the fight just because someone had better gear. This leads to, at least in my opinion, a very chill time, and with little to no tilt, except for, when you have those pubs and you get those occasional moments where you're just like, what the fuck is my teammate doing? But it's nothing like COD levels of saltiness where you're just like... Lastly, this game's skill floor is quite low. On my first day playing, I got my first win with 5 kills. However, it has a tremendously high skill ceiling, and making it really approachable and really exciting for people like me who like to play their sweaty balls off and constantly try their best to get better. Now, going to the real meat of the video, there are 3 mechanics that I feel Respawn completely nailed, and it is the reason that it has been such a success with me and been just so compelling and addicting. First is the pace of the game. If you asked me to describe Apex in a sentence, I would most likely say ADD the game, because there never seems to be a dull moment. The map is large, nevertheless it remains compact, keeping the non-named areas almost barren, forcing players to be constantly hopping from location to location. This leads to an everlasting sense of danger, that even when you're pretty sure an enemy squad isn't anywhere near, you're doing your shit as fast as you possibly can, because you're never quite sure when someone's just going to drop in and start blowing you. Not that way, of course. This leads to my second point, which is how the game rewards you for being constantly aggressive. I've played other battle royales such as Fortnite and PUBG, but I constantly found myself jumping to areas with as little people as possible and generally avoiding combat because the risk always felt greater than the reward. Whereas in Apex, I'm always jumping into areas with lots of people so I can just flex all over them and take them out with an execution and hopefully tilt them. I believe this is because of mechanics such as armor switching, where you can take the armor of a dead enemy mid-combat and be ready to hop back in, whereas in other battle royales you really don't have anything like this, often leaving you in situations where unless you completely just annihilated your opponent, which will not happen with newer players, you're left really weak and really easy to take out. In this game, you never feel weak. I can only think of one situation where I wasn't in control, and that was this situation right here. And I was just trapped in a room, and there was the zone on the other side, and there was the Pathfinder, and my friend's dead box was there, and it was just a whole bloody mess. And finally, the bread and butter of what makes this game so great is the gunplay and movement. The gunplay in this game is phenomenal, and there really isn't much to say. Every sound and animation fits each distinctive gun perfectly. The RE45 being quick and agile and always surprisingly deadly, which is completely contrasted by its slightly bigger brother, the Wingman, which has loud cannon-like shots and feels like every shot is just going to blow the enemy away. Then there's the Peacekeeper, which makes even the Wingman look like a fucking pussy. With its massive barrel and thunderous shots, cocking the gun feels like it takes real effort from your character, and this just all comprises and works together and makes something beautiful. The feedback mechanism when you damage someone in this game is so rewarding, and seeing an enemy down in big red letters is just, oh my god, it's so good. It gets me every time, dude. I also love that you can one-clip someone, dude. It's fucking amazing. It feels so good to see someone, and it's finding your perfect loadout in this game is just like the dopest thing, because once you get it, once you have everything ready, you have the purple armor, the legendary armor, you have your 2 guns, you've decked them out, you just feel like a god on the battlefield, and there's nothing that quite compares to it. By the way, the Hemlock is the best gun. Anyone that says otherwise can bite me. The movement is really fast, and watching pros and really good players just makes you realize how fast someone can really go when they put enough time in the game and practice enough. The fast speed in the gunplay really makes everything, no matter how small, feel rewarding, and I frankly just love it, as you can probably tell. Now, to the things that I think Respawn could improve upon. One is that some guns and characters just feel objectively worse compared to others. Now, this might be by design, and probably is in some cases when it concerns guns. And I do realize that most likely I just don't understand the characters well enough to use them effectively. Up until recently, I thought Bloodhound sucked, then I spent a few games playing him, and now he's my main. And just before making the script, I had 2 games in a row where I got 7 and 6 Ks, because I was just able to pressure everyone down with him and his ultimate. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I feel like there's a really clear divide in character strengths, having some S-tier characters like Bloodhound, Lifeline, Pathfinder, Wraith, and so on, and then C-tier characters like Crypto, Mirage, and Caustic, who just feel useless in a lot of situations. Like, they feel extremely situational, and Caustic is a big example for this, because I don't understand why you wouldn't just use Wattson, because his thing, while yes, it has a bigger area effect and it's a lot easier to hit, it affects your teammates, and like, it can massively screw them over. And then of course there's a few A-tier characters in the middle like Bangalore and Octane, who can either be really good or really bad depending on the player, but I feel like there's just a massive divide in character utility, and just like the original characters feel significantly better than the post-launch characters. And yeah, it's important to note that I don't own Caustic, Mirage, and those guys that I put in D tier. But from what I've seen, how I've seen other players use them, and how I've seen my teammates use them, they consistently seem just and lackluster. On top of this, some guns just feel like complete downgrades, and I understand that with some guns that's done on purpose. Obviously, a Spitfire is going to be more powerful than the P2020, but some guns just feel kind of shitty, honestly. I love the Hemlock Burst Rifle. I love burst rifles in any FPS. They're always my go-to when I have a choice. Yet I just simply refuse to ever use the Prowler. It feels good to use animation and sound-wise like every other gun in this game, but the gun itself just is bad. I find myself consistently missing shots with it that I should land, and when I do finally land a shot, by the grace of the gods, the damage is just It's the only gun in the game that I consistently finding myself losing gunfights, and now I just simply refuse to use it because I hate it. Secondly, my only real problem with the game that isn't even really a problem, it's more like something I would just find helpful to players that are, especially newer players, is some way to be able to identify enemies quicker. The only way to discern enemy from friend in this game is the fact that friends have their name hovering over them while enemies do not. When enemies are far away, like 10 meters away or however far away, this is not really a problem. But when you're in a close quarter situation and you're in the middle of a gunfight, it's very easily to get lost. Like this footage right here shows you exactly what I'm talking about. I saw a lifeline, and even though there was no lifeline on my team, I mistook it for a teammate and was completely obliterated because of it. Now this complaint might be kind of pointless, as I see myself almost never making a mistake only 2 days after having this incident. Nevertheless, maybe some sort of small red outline when an enemy is 2 or so meters away from you could be a good way to pass immediate visual information to the player when they are in the middle of a gunfight, and could possibly spare a bit of tilt. But to round everything up, this game has completely infatuated me. I haven't been this obsessed with a game since the release of Thrawn and Overwatch. If you like fast-paced games, personality, and just feeling like an absolute beast, this game is absolutely for you. I've been playing for only 4 days upon writing the script, and I've already won 2 games this season, being top fragger in both, and top fragger in my squad almost every game, gotten kill leader a shit ton of times, and so on. Every time you accomplish something in this game, in big letters, the game goes, "Great fucking job!" and it makes you feel like the happiest little itty bitty cutie baby in the world, and it's just so good. For newer players seeking advice how to get better, there are 2 things I can't recommend strongly enough. First, this guy's video on how to increase your FPS. It helps you massively. When I first played this game, I was going 60 FPS and I randomly dropped to 30, and now I play at a constant 100, and FPS is never a problem, even when I have things like Chrome open and I am listening to music or something. Secondly, it's to watch streamers like Lulu Lovely. I specifically recommend Lulu Lovely because there's players like Dizzy and some other pros like that, but they are extremely fast. Lulu Lovely is an extremely high level player. She plays for NRG. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she plays at a fast enough speed where people who don't really understand the game are able to keep up with it, and it makes you, and as you watch her, you learn the game and you start playing a lot more confidently. And the tactic to winning in this game, take this from a guy with 2 season wins, big deal over here, is just get confidence and play with confidence, because that will scare the shit out of your enemies, I guarantee you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos from me, please like and subscribe, and check out my Twitch page if you want to watch me stream. I stream every weekend from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. WEST, and in the WEST time zone. And if I have time on the weekdays, I do it from 12:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. WEST on weekdays. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.
Yo, we're behind! Yo.
Go hide. I got him.
I'm good.
Ah, he went up there. Yo, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill this bitch.
Yo. No, fuck, bro. Yo, one was right fucking next to me.
Oh shit, yeah.
Dude, I was literally 1 second off my fucking Phoenix kid, bro. One right here, Lucky.
Okay, she's down.
Whoa, Lucky, watch out, he jumped down.
Yo!
Let's go. Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Bang. baby.
That laugh.
Let's fucking go.
Oh man.
Huge, boys. Huge.
Fucking go.
champion.
6 kills, kill leader, win Caleb's 3rd fucking game.